voice. What
on the BART train.
Or on BART, exactly, yes. Oh my goodness. This is waking up people on the screen.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get to know. Morning, good morning. Welcome, Game Audio Podcast. Just kind of getting going. Some folks showing up, and they're a little slow today, so I'm not surprised. I mean, you gotta massage it a little bit, right? Massage it. How about you?
It's coming back. All right.
Okay, so things getting started. This is going to be Thursday morning's Game Audio Podcast. Folks are just kind of finding their way here. How do we find our way in this world to the morning audio community meetup? And you're watching the live stream, I guess, so welcome. And when we say live, I guess we mean live, because it just kind of starts, goes for an indeterminate amount of time, and then ends. This is almost an analogy to interactive music for folks paying attention. So cool, thanks for tuning in. A couple of cool things. Back in 2009, Anton Woldheck and I started up the Game Audio Podcast as a way to have some conversations with folks in the industry and try to knowledge share and reach folks with some cool conversations. And that emerged into conversations around a table here at the Game Developers Conference. Started to carry those out as part of the podcast, and over time what emerged was just a fantastic community discussion about what happens here on the ground at Game Audio GDC. So we bring folks together in the morning here to talk about what happened yesterday and what's going to happen today, and through that we try to gain insight from other people about their experiences, what's cool, what they saw that was incredible, and what they're excited for coming up today. So stay tuned. The conversation takes a wild path that is driven by the community. I'm glad to be able to be here and try to project that out to the folks who are not able to be here. So hopefully this is of value, and I want to say thanks to the folks who donated to support the live streaming equipment. It made it possible for me to put this into 360, right? You're like swiping your finger around. I heard from someone yesterday, they're like watching it and it's like, why is this so shaky? And then they like moved it to the side and they were like, oh shit, this is in 360 degrees. So if you haven't already tried it, swipe your finger around. You can kind of direct to and orient at the people who are speaking, and hopefully this is an engaging way to participate as part of the game audio community on the ground here at GDC. Each day we've been featuring different co-hosts, folks who help me moderate and navigate the conversation, and I'm really been thankful for the participation of folks from the community to help drive this conversation, and yeah, it's a gift to have so many great folks here. So if you tuned in, keep it easy. We'll pull it into focus here in a few minutes, and yeah, hope it goes well. So thanks. Take care.
Yeah. Exactly. That's going to be, so it opens next month, and it's going to be my plan.
Are you ready? Let's do this.
Time to sit.
Okay, good morning. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming today. It's Thursday. You're still here, and you're here. Like, I'm so Glad to have you with us for the Morning Audio Community Meetup. Oh, this is kind of high. I'm going to tuck that down. For folks who didn't notice this giant tripod and camera situation, it is a 360-degree live streaming device, so we are on TV, Mom. Wow! So if you're not comfortable with that, now's the time to excuse yourself, but it's pretty casual. So the point of that is to try and carry these conversations outside of the conference, outside of San Francisco, and just bring the wider audio community into the energy here on the ground. So you're the energy, this is the ground, and we're all the community. So thanks for that. I've got some special guests who I'll let introduce themselves today. Helping me co-host and moderate this strangely emergent format of the morning meetup, which usually rolls like this. We talk a bit about what happened yesterday at GDC, so folks share what the cool stuff that happened, or maybe even the not cool stuff if that's appropriate. So feel free to bring your experience and share that as part of the conversation. And then we'll flip over to today and what's happening. And this is a great way to advocate for cool things that you think people should know more about. This is a great time to, share your excitement about a presentation or something you think other people should be excited about, because as you know, there's so much happening all the time. You can't possibly go to everything. So selfishly, this is me trying to learn and grow through your experiences. So with that, I want to introduce a couple folks as co-hosts and just say thank you up front for participating, but also for participating in the game audio community in Los Angeles. These two are helping to put a flag on the moon in LA, game audio, to bring the community together locally, and then, as we've been distanced, both online. So welcome, thank you, and could you do some short introductions?
Yeah. Hi, I'm David. I'm currently doing audio programming at a studio called Brass Lion, and this is my third GDC. That's pretty much who I am.
My name is Adam Flixton. I work at a company called Silent Audio, and we're both representing the Game Audio LA in Los Angeles. So if you're in Los Angeles or the greater LA area, you should look us up on Twitter, Game Audio LA. We have periodic meetups, and we're trying to do more non-meetup type activities on Discord and stuff like that. So we want more people coming by.
Awesome acronym.
What's that? Gala. Oh yeah, Gala. Yeah.
And
exactly.
also, we weren't the ones who planted the flag.
We did not.
Folks like Megan and Renzo, and really have them to thank.
Cool, so I love this because it makes it really clear that it's about people, right? It takes people to pull things together. It takes someone to say, this is the day, this is the time, this is the place. And maybe sometimes that's all it takes. So if you're wondering, what do I have to do to spin up a community in my town, or, how do I find my community? There's a lot of resources out there, but also if you can't find one, maybe you can build one. So I think that might be something, I don't know, Megan, do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I kind of joined on Game Audio LA, later.
Cool.
But yeah, I think I've been thinking about maybe trying to start something out in Chicago, a game audio thing. So you're Chicago based. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah, other folks from Chicago too. Right. And that's kind of it. We're here. There's a part of us that loves this experience with people, and I'm so glad that you were able to contribute there and pull things together with, I'll mention Renzo and Michelangelo, definitely catalysts there.
Yeah, and Frida Wolf was actually the one who started it, and then like Renzo and Adam took over.
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. That's great. Cool. So, okay, communities. I love it. We could talk all day about this, one of my favorite subjects. But we'll kind of switch into gears now and start talking about what happened yesterday. And we're really looking for insights from folks. If it's the first time that you're speaking today, please say your name, your pronouns, and how you identify in the game industry. And let's just start with who did something cool, saw a great talk. I would love to hear about some of the presentations.
Okay, sure. I like starting. Hi everyone, my name is Matvey, and I work as a manager. I currently do audio. I'm tapping into composition. And perhaps one of the coolest things I done yesterday was, all of the roundtables were great, but the animation roundtable was just mind-blowing because I attended. It was really nice. People were really kind. It was overpacked. But then I left for another thing. It was full, which is now I know if you want to attend something, you probably should be there 20 minutes before it starts. But I came back, and it was almost an hour later, and people from the roundtable, 80% of them were still there talking, just outside of the room, and that was just such an amazing moment because I stayed there for another half an hour, and we just kept the conversation going and going and going. It was just so awesome to see that people so interested in just meeting up and just chatting with each other way past their lunchtime.
Yeah, roundtables, right? Engaging too, because you have this dynamic that happens. Anyone else roundtable yesterday? Cool. Was there any takeaway from the animation one that you went to? What kind of surfaced from that?
What do you mean? Surface?
What was the topic? Were people talking about animation blends or how to place keyframes?
Actually, I was really worried it was super technical because I don't do much animation, but a lot of it was really ground level questions. They had a whole 10-minute section for people who wanted to break out into the industry and what questions they had for that. They really talked about machine learning and how that's going to change the industry, right? Important topic I think here as well. And they also talked about just all over the place, but it was really more so not technical, but how do you fit in? How do you find your thing? They really broke it down, what it means to be working in this industry day by day, and where it's going, what they're looking for, or what they don't like about how it's structured, right? The kind of questions that really get you excited about continuing to be in that field or maybe join that field someday. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thanks for carrying that to us. That's inspiring to hear about other communities pulling together towards this idea of, education, self-education, and, shepherding new folks into their, area of expertise and passion, right? That's seems like a no-brainer, but also sometimes you have to be intentional about it. And it sounds like that was a great place for it. Cool. Yeah, please.
I'm Mike Heinberger, vegan. This is my first GDC. I am a freelance composer, or at least aspiring to be. And so I was hoping to come here and learn a lot of these talks and stuff. The thing that actually I liked the most is just walking around either on the expo floor or at some of the after things, seeing some of the indie games. It's been really inspiring in a way that I wasn't anticipating. And it's kind of made me I should go home and make my own game. So I think that's what I'm going to plan to do.
Yeah, that's a cool inspiration to take away. Awesome. Yeah. It feels like there's an accessibility level to that, right? where I believe it. You could do it. You have resources. You have tools. So, cool. Good luck. I can't wait to play it. I'm assuming it's going to have some crazy interactive music, or at least something there. Yeah. Cool. We need more examples of that.
My name is Mason Victoria, he, him. I'm the lead audio designer at a company called Disruptive Games. I want to speak more to the roundtables in the sense that the first two I attended, which were the first things I attended here at GDC, was the building soundscapes one, and that was followed by the developing together, which was like a game audio plus game designer. And those two talks were really incredible, and they seemed to blend really well together because it was ultimately about how do you communicate as a audio designer, as a musician, as a sound designer, to actually collaborate with people that are not in your stream, and making sure that you are aware of your abilities to limit the amount of time that people are kind of squeezing you at the end of things, because there are dependencies and things that are going on that are causing you to not be able to do the best work that you can do. And so it was a really big conversation about how can we make sure that we're not overextending ourselves, that we're being really honest with the time we have to give ourselves as audio artists, and make sure that the work that we do is not in a scenario in which we're forcing ourselves to get things done as opposed to get it done wonderful and right. And then the following talk, that developing together, kind of became a really eerie conversation about artificial intelligence and how we are. And that went on for 40 minutes, and it was a 60-minute panel. But I think it's my main takeaway from that particular part of the conversation was that there are people that think AI is an interesting tool to explore, especially people that are not musicians and audio folk, but the fact that we are able to have that collaboration, that ability to talk to people and really understand what they're looking for beyond what artificial intelligence is able to do too, that it all kind of goes full circle in that sense, so that we're kind of that glue to make sure that we understand the projects and that we're working together through that entire process, knowing exactly how long it would take as us human beings to collaborate with others. So those two panels were incredible.
Nice. Those roundtables, and they don't record those, so you can't capture that again, right? You got to be there for it.
Hi, I'm Isaac Io Shankler. My pronouns are they and them. I'm a composer and a professor at Cal Poly Pomona, which is in the greater LA area, and I think this is my third GDC, though the last one I went to was 6 years ago, which feels like a long time ago. And it's been really interesting to see what has changed and what hasn't changed since then, from my dim recollection. But on the subject of getting things done quickly versus getting things right, it's maybe a small thing, but I was really, at the IGF Awards last night, I was really heartened to see Rian Diaz, the host, advocate for game audio, and advocate for bringing it in earlier in the process, and obviously budgeting for it and things like that, and talking about the importance of game audio. And that is something that I haven't always seen, certainly not on the main stage. So I was really, that made me feel hopeful, I guess, I suppose, for the future of game audio.
That's awesome! I'm so glad you brought that here because I didn't go. I would never get that perspective, or it's not like I'm going to get an article from a what do they call them these days? Are they blogs still? That's not going to hit me and connect. And so to have you here to carry that to the conversation, I'm just so thankful, because that advocacy outside of our discipline, right? It's how do we get that seat at the table? How do we get there early? How do we get there in collaboration, right? and it starts with those moments of connection. So to hear that it made it up in front of that audience, well, that's huge.
Yeah, and the fact that it's someone who wasn't in game audio who's actually said that and brought that forward.
Awesome. Thank you.
Jeff, did you want to?
How about the expo floor? Yeah.
Okay, sure. Hi, my name is Jeff Rona, he, him. I'm here from Los Angeles. I'm not a member of Gala. Didn't tell me. I'm a composer. I've been scoring games for a while now. Film and TV as well before that, and still. But games have become a major part of my life and my career. This is my first GDC. Came here because I wanted to meet you guys. Honestly, I wanted to immerse myself in the culture of music and audio in video games, you know. One of the biggest differences that I found between working in film and working in games is the culture. Much more than the process in many ways. I mean, music is music to some extent, although it's really good to know your tools and your audience. In 2019, I started a company with my partner, which I'm sure some of you know, Cody Matthew Johnson. He's up for a few gang awards tonight. He and I started this company called Imperia Sound and Music. And we're a bespoke music and audio company in Los Angeles. And we've been kind of going gangbusters since then. It's really picked up fast. And the other reason I came up to GDC is because Cody and I started a project, a partnership with Universal Music, you know, the biggest music company in the world, who has a mandate to get more involved in games. And they turned to us to help them. And on the show floor, we have a project with them called Gamescape. It's a kind of an unusual hybrid of bespoke audio and music, and the ability to license music, so that small game companies that can't afford larger audio budgets can at least license on a global level some amount of music, but not necessarily all of it. So we view it as a hybrid. So that's over in S1333, I think. And but you know, my flight was horribly delayed yesterday, so I didn't get to the show until mid-afternoon. So I just ran around like a crazy person to see. And so I haven't been to any talks yet, and if there's any, I'd love to know. But today I have a little more time to kind of start to really see what everybody's doing, what everybody's been looking at. And I'm just absolutely thrilled to be here and be a part of this, and thank you. And I'll be at the Gang Awards tonight, you know. Adam Flixen and I are kind of trying to hit some of the vegan spots as two hardcore vegan humans. And yeah, so, you know, more.
Thanks for that. Yeah. And Expo. So Expo floor, you mentioned there's a booth there. People could come check out the technology. Did anyone else hit the Expo yesterday? Okay. So what's the Expo? What was that about? Who had an experience there? I missed all the hands when they shot up at first, but okay.
The Expo is about Martin is Paul is my name. He, him. Work at Knock Knock Audio, and the Expo is a lot about losing your voice. It's a typical Thursday voice. Tomorrow you'll find me like, hello, it's nice to see you. At least like I was at the Expo yesterday showcasing a game at the RGF Pavilion, and it's next to the Old Control booth, which is also like one of the best places to go for like the weirdest sounding games, because it's clicks and clacks, and suddenly there's a vacuum cleaner that vacuums up color, and it's a very like organic and real audio, not coming from speakers or headphones, which I like. But the IGF Pavilion is also very, very fun this year, and it's a lot of brilliant student games that deals well with audio. And I just wanted to mention, like, there's a really cool student game called Mind Diver, which is it's about going into the memories of a woman that wakes up the day after a party with a crown on her head, and she revisits a memory, and you can kind of scan for audio and kind of remix and reinterpret and re-put together the sounds into a solution for the memories, that sort of thing. And it was very humbling to see like what students are doing and like the next games online. So I would recommend everyone to check out the student games at the IDF Pavilion. It's really, really cool.
What game are you exhibiting?
Oh, we're showing a game called Dome Keeper, which is like a little bubble defender, and you dig down and you get resources. And the top is like very FM synth, very cold metallic, kind of monsters are attacking you, and then you dig down, and it's very cozy and no danger. So it's a lot of more like, I went to my grandmother and recorded her weird small gadgets from like the 60s and 50s, and like a creaking door and this kind of weird stuff. So come and check that if you want. Yeah, Expo Floor is fun this year.
Yeah. Anyone land at the community space, the audio community space on the expo floor?
That's new, right?
Yeah, they had it in 2019 as well.
Okay.
But,
Where is that?
It's right by your booth.
Oh!
Yeah. Way in the back.
Top 10 wandering around yesterday. It seems like it's bigger than it's ever been. It got lost. Don't go in there thinking you've got 5 minutes of weed. You won't get out. If you go to GDC Africa on the next floor map, it's dog slow. So you have to ask if you're ever lost, there's confidence associates around with the teachers. Don't be scared to ask them for help. That's what I did. It was good. So you click on the top right on the little like 3 lines and click on the billion list. Click on the vendor name that you're looking for, and it magically highlights the stall, zooms in, and then you zoom out and look at where it is, and that will save you.
I also noticed a giant map on the floor. That really helped me eventually when I saw it. There's a map. It took me like 2 hours to find it. This giant map.
Is there a map to the map?
Video games, people. Come on. Have we learned nothing? There's always a mark. Cool. Other folks who had experience, yeah, please.
Yeah. Hi, Gabriel, pronouns he, him. Kind of going off what was said earlier, I'm a student, coming here for the very first time, and it's so cool like seeing the other students' booths around, just like where my peers are. Like I don't talk to many people like outside of like my little like bubble of like my class, my team I'm working with. So seeing these other schools and like coming in with their own projects and like completely like wildly different ideas and like stages than where we're at with our project. It's so cool. Just like that collaboration like on like this entry level coming into it. And then a couple booths down you're like, oh yeah, that is Unreal. Right there. The dichotomy is so cool to see. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I love it. So how many students here? Cool. Yeah, and I mean, this is the time, right? You're building relationships with people across disciplines. You're learning how to work together. You're establishing those foundations of how to collaborate and carry something over the finish line. And when that arrives here, it's like there's some victory laps happening. So yeah, high five those folks, and yeah, keep working towards those milestones in your career. It's awesome. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, Jenny, go ahead.
This is a little off topic, but I went to a talk on neurodiversity among game developers and how neurodiverse people are kind of overrepresented in the video game development community. And it was just a great talk, pointing that out, and they had some very kind of concrete steps for how workplaces, because neurodivergent people their special brains our special brains bring special tools to the table, special talents. So they had some sort of very concrete steps on how workplaces can help these people do our best work without having to waste energy overcoming obstacles. So they're an advocacy group, and of course I can't remember the name of the organization, but I just wanted to kind of amplify that here because it seems like they're doing great work, so something to think about.
Awesome, thank you. Was that a presentation or a roundtable?
It was just a talk.
Okay.
Yes, so you can like go back and look at the schedule. It was like yesterday at 5.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Okay, so follow up afterward.
Yeah.
You can grab it in the vault, or it might get promoted outside of that for free. So, cool, one to look for. Thank you. Thank you. I know there's another audio-focused game down on the expo floor that is worth putting your ears on at the Dolby booth, and I wonder if anyone else knows about that game.
Is it at the booth?
It is.
So there's a game called Which is Which. My team made it for the Step Up Your Sound game jam that Playcrafting and Dolby did. Essentially, you are a witch posing as a witch hunter, and there are these villagers singing a protection hymn, and you have to try to hunt for the witches who are purposely singing the lyrics wrong to try to mess up the hymn. And so yeah, it shows off, Dolby has this Atmos plugin for Wise for mobile games, so it's kind of showing off that technology. But yeah, I haven't actually been to the Dolby booth yet. I should go say hi to them.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
It was cool to see it down on the floor. They've got it running. You can try it. And it's a game that has been created and you cannot play without sound, right? That is how you navigate.
Yeah, that was kind of the point. We wanted it to be very, like, you need the sound to be able to do the gameplay. So.
Yeah, so a super cool example of exactly that, and you can put your ears on it on the expo floor at the Dolby booth. So, yeah.
Thanks
congrats.
for the shout out.
Totally. Okay, I'll take one more and then we're going to flip the switch. Yeah, please.
I'm Eric Hurst. I'm in my last year of doing a music and sound design program up in Washington. A talk that I went to that I thought was really interesting and really important, but for more personal reasons than for game audio reasons, was actually the unicorns and multiclassing talk. Because as a sound designer, I'm a bit of an oddball in that I have more designer and programmer friends than audio friends. So I like learning about those fields and getting into that. And part of the talk was actually interfacing that cross-disciplinary interaction and how to not step on each other's toes and get involved in the other disciplines, which I thought was a really cool, really important thing that they were doing with that. As well as a lot of, here, don't do this. Here's some traps I fell into because I was trying to do that, kind of going across disciplines. And that wisdom has been very helpful for, I feel like, my future career because how much I like interacting with the other disciplines more than just staying in the audio box. And the extra thing that was very nice at the end is the talk insisted, hey, you know people around you that have like 30 skills, hand out business cards. So I actually got in contact with a bunch of people that I think were trying to make an indie game at the time. And I feel like that was a really cool kickstart to getting more contacts and collaborating with people around the community.
Nice. Thanks for that. Yeah, the cross-discipline thing is huge, right? Yeah. So great. Glad that one connected. Okay, we're at the halfway point. We're going to do something interesting. So we usually do a thing called the sync clap here at the Game Audio Podcast. We did one on Monday. It's a holdover from when we used to have a bunch of recorders around the table and we would just want to pull everything in sync. Y'all can ID with that. And then another day we did actually the sync clap wave. So that was kind of fun because we went in a circle with that clap, and I bet it was interesting for folks tuning in bed back home. Today I want to try a weird one. I don't know how it's going to go, but let's go there together. I'm going to stand up, and my hand is going to be the volume level of some kind of small hand flapping sound. Okay, and you're in charge of the hand flapping. I'm in charge of the volume. Okay, and so we're going to have a hand flapping modulation experiment here. And, feel free to, express yourself if you feel like it's not working, but let's try it. So you ready? We're going to start quiet down here. That was fun for me. Thank you for indulging me. So, flipping the switch, it's Thursday, and we're about to strike out into the conference. What are people excited for? What do they think other people should be excited for? What even is happening tonight? And I think we've heard whispers of it already, but we can certainly mention that. And if you haven't spoken before, if you just showed up, there's a few chairs in the front if it's hard to hear, if you want to piece in. And if it's your first time speaking, say your name, your pronouns, and how you identify in the game industry. So we can all get to know you a little bit better. So what's happening today?
I'll do it. Becky Allen, she, her. And tonight there's the Game Audio Network Guild Awards. I think someone mentioned, but it's a very fun event, sort of red carpet-y. So if you want to go, show up a little bit early. I think it's at 7:30. Location? Moscone West. Moscone West. Yes. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. Please come.
Great, thank you. And that requires a badge for access, so you have to bring your GDC badge for entrance. So, yeah, thank you for that. And are you still with the organization in a leadership role, Becky?
I'm on the board now.
Yeah, okay, cool. Cool. So, again, if folks haven't heard of the Game Audio Network Guild, well, who hasn't heard of the Game Audio Network Guild?
If you want to know more about it, you can talk to Sabrina, or myself, perhaps Guy. Yeah.
Great.
So happy to talk to you all about it.
Great. One of the organizations that represents our community and absolutely vital heartbeat of who we are. So, thank you.
I just want to add a small thing about the award show. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Rob Kovacs or 88-Bit Music, but he's performing at the award show. And he's like an amazing keyboardist and just musician. And so like, if you've never heard of him or if you've never seen him live, like that'll be a really good opportunity to see him perform. Yeah.
He's at 7?
At 7?
Yeah.
Okay, so like beforehand. He does like I think he does like a couple.
I think it's in the intermission too, but Sabrina knows more about the program than I do. Is he intermission or when is he? He is. Okay.
Cool. All right, great. Awards. See everyone there? Yeah, I'll take you in the way back.
On my end, I just want to say that tonight I'm going to follow the next night. It's a concert and one of my
Cool party, yeah. Nice. And what time is that? We'll find you.
It's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Cool. Yeah, it's a choose your own adventure. Cool.
I'm KT, a composer, I'm Shira. This is the game demo Adobe for the sound design today, which I'm really excited about. So, is anyone here submitting?
Did you submit?
I submitted yesterday for the composers.
Cool.
So there's two different tracks.
So how was it?
It was terrifying. Sufficiently terrifying, but excellent.
Cool.
Yeah, I got some great feedback, and it was really incredible to hear the work that people were putting out there, and students and people and their seeking careers and like from all walks of life, and like their different cultural influences and just different backgrounds really came through in the music.
Cool.
So, the sound design one's at 11:30. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. I'm on the panel.
Cool. Thanks for doing that, and good job putting it out there for that terrifying feedback. I know people who are just there. It was a buzz yesterday. Hearing feedback on other people's work feeds their ability to understand their own work and their own process. That was something that was brought up yesterday. So thank you for submitting for that, because I know folks here are pulling from that for their own
much
experience.
work comes from that. I think even Will Roger who's on the panel, right? I think he submitted early in his career. And that
First year,
First year.
2006.
Right. And so
Really can help launch a career.
it has a great history.
Cool. Thank you.
Hi, I'm James Ojako. He helps mine. I'm a composer, just freelance for the last 10 years at this point. So, but yeah, I just wanted to plug real quick. My friend's running this thing over in Oakland. If you feel like making it out, it's called Slug World. It's just a general outdoor meetup kind of thing, and it's going to go from I think 1 to 8 today. So yeah, if you feel like going over there, it's just going to be a lot of industry and indie, just all over the place. But something that's going on there that's really cool is so lost levels used to happen, but it hasn't in a really long time, and so it's going to be going on at Slug World from 4 o'clock. So it's just a really cool soapbox, kind of like let's talk about game ideas that aren't, just whatever. Allows people to talk about what they want, kind of thing. I saw when I first came to GDC in like 2017, so it's just it's cool to see it coming back. Just want to point out.
And remind me what Lost Levels is.
Yeah, it's just a soapbox where anybody can submit little 5-minute talks, basically. It's game design, anything, or across all fields. Kind of thing. So,
cool.
I just remember back in the days, we'd always hear some really cool stuff that would come out of there. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And food and stuff.
Yeah. It's Bartable.
What's that?
It's Bartable.
Yeah, it's actually. I'll post the event right in the GDC Discord or whatever. But
So Game Audio GDC Discord, folks know about that. And if you don't, find Jocko. He'll slide you the invite, and the Slug World info will be there.
But it's right. It's really close to one of the stations.
Perfect. Perfect. On that note, anyone Carousel Con yesterday?
Yeah.
Who wants to even say what that is? What was it yesterday? Yeah, Pablo.
Pablo, he, him. What I can say is that it's not at the same spot than last year, so look for it, because for a while we were at the Children's Museum, and we're like, well, no one's there. And then someone was there another block away. Oh, okay. But it's a gathering behind the carousel, so this year literally behind the carousel, up the stairs, of game audio folk talking around and chatting and just giving the opportunity for the same kind of discussions in here, like little nuggets of knowledge and experience to share over lunch. So bring your sandwich and spend the time with us.
Yeah, same kind of vibe I think is what Lost Levels is going for, where they're just micro talks that anyone can do, and it's a way to kind of capture and share either your experience and something that you have that's unique to that you want to tell people about, or just the same kind of thing here. Like, what's happening? What's exciting? What's on the mind? So, another great opportunity to do that. I love that it has come back. The original organizer, Matthew Martinson, is not able to be here at GDC this year, and put word out like, hey, if you want to do this, you're going to have to take it over, and please do it. And the community has stepped in to make that happen. And I think that is a true testament when something can be, set at the feet of the community, and that they choose to pick it up and carry it forward. Well, that it was meant to be, or that it was a vital piece of the community. So
it's 12:30 to 1:30. Is that right? Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, at the carousel. 12:30. 12:30. Yeah.
Thank you. Sure. It's still Thursday. What else is happening?
Hi, I'm Virginia. She, her. I'm a composer and sound designer for a game called The Baby in Yellow. And today, this is going to be the best part of GDC, I think, because there's a lot of talks going on. There's one of them, if you're a fan of Monkey Island, I mean, you should definitely go today, because Clint's doing his talk on Monkey Island, which is extremely exciting. And also Winifred Phillips, she's one of my idols, so I'm very excited to actually attend one of the talks, because I've known about her for a long time. And I don't want to ramble on, but yeah, I'm excited for those two things. And a quick thing about the expo that I went for the first time yesterday, just wandering around, and I saw an Italian game community, and I'm from Rome, and I was born in Italy, and it was just really, I don't know if anyone can relate, but it's just very exciting to see communities of game development from your own country that you might not expect to see. So yeah, it's just very wholesome.
Nice. That's awesome. Thank you. I mean, iMuse, right? If you're a composer working in interactive today, this is an acronym you should know, right? And the Monkey Island talk, bam, get that history lesson through the lens of the people who were there while they're still alive, right? We're in this community. You gotta tap into that, right? Because we're lucky to be in an industry that is young enough where we really haven't experienced a lot of significant loss of these knowledge shareholders. And in a lot of cases, they're out there trying to, help people understand through the lens of history where we have come from and arrived to, in the hopes that, well, we can either learn from and continue to carry those things forward, or learn from those mistakes and not maybe do those dumb things again, right? That's, I think, the goal. So when you can tap into that experience, I think it's valuable. Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to a talk with fantastic audio algorithms.
Wait, say the name of it again, I'm sorry?
Fantastic audio algorithms and where to find them.
Fantastic audio algorithms and where to find them.
I'm mentioning this because for some reason, on my app, if I apply the audio topic filter, it doesn't show up. So I think it's in the program.
Okay.
So if anyone is interested in that,
Thank you for that. Yeah, and it's that kind of insight, right? You're excited about the talk. It's maybe not on the main track. So, yeah, thanks for surfacing that. Do you think it'll be focused on, more of an engineering lens?
Yeah, I think it's more technical side, but anyone interested.
Yeah, I mean, we need some of that sometimes. We need to be fed by that kind of in the depths experience, because, well, we might not get that around the water cooler or in a casual Discord chat. So, yeah, tapping into that. It's great. Thanks for sharing.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm
pronouns he, him. I'm the lead audio designer at Collier, and one of the things I'm really looking forward to today is just all the meetups and like gatherings involving networking groups today, and specifically wanted to call out there's the Asian Game Audio Network that's mainly operating out of the Discord channel, and actually going to be heading out into that right now after this. So if you're Asian American, or part of the Asian diaspora, I highly encourage you to come meet up with us. We'll be at the Blue Bottle down the street until 11, so hope to see people there.
Awesome. Thank you. That brings her back to communities, and I kind of...
Basically now until 11.
Okay. Cool, thank you for that. Like other community folks here, are there any other people running communities in your town?
Colin, Graham, him, music designer. I'm not running it. I'm part of the, I volunteer with the Game Audio Diversity Alliance. You'll see a few of us walking around. Say hi if you can. Fairly new organization run by Dan Reynolds, Renee Gardner, and Caleb, get his last name. X, yeah. And so we're very new, but we do a lot with helping, we're a very diverse community in game audio, and we're hoping to increase that by, we have a few scholars here that we helped give scholarship to attend GDC as well as the School of Video Game Audio. And so if you see any of us, come talk about, if you're a student, if you're just starting out, about applying for stuff, or if you want to volunteer. So yeah, we hope to see more people join us in helping make game audio more diverse.
I love it. I've loved that initiative. Thank you.
Hi, Carly, she, her, sound designer. I'm just reminded suddenly that there's a community that not everybody might be aware of called the Game Audio Slack that Matthew Martinson, who began CarouselCon, started. He's since stepped down as owner of the Slack and has passed the torch to Tony Porter, but myself and Jay Fernandez are mods there as well. And I think it might be a little bit hidden at this point because we do still manage invites, but please, if that sounds interesting to anybody, come talk to me and I can let you know how you can get into that Slack, because it's just a really great online community to just ask questions and share your work, and we work really hard to make sure that it's an open and comfortable and safe community.
Cool. So it's an open invitation to the community, but there's a path to arrive, which takes a level of accessibility.
Yes.
So find Carly, open the door. Cool. Thanks.
And today Mike teaching audio mechanics. Yesterday we did some presentations at our booth. Today we have these presentations at our booth. At 10:30, we're giving a talk about Outcast 2. I don't know if there's anyone old like me who remembers Outcast 1. I'm going to say like 20 plus years since Outcast 1.
1999, the first time.
Okay, longer. And so yeah, Paul's going to be talking about that at 10:30 at our booth. Later in the day, I see Simon Prexy back there. He's going to be doing another Strata presentation. Officers come to our booth, say they love this Strata t-shirt that I don't know who gets. Round out today, and I don't know this person, so I don't know if they are here. We're doing a presentation on the music of Red House, the White House style with futuristic races on here. And that should be at 4:30 at our booth. And the same offer yesterday, if someone doesn't have an expo pass and wants to get in to see those talks, I'm going to stick around for a few minutes after we're done. Come talk to me, understand the opening. I think we have still a lot of uses left in that, so feel free to
Cool. So if you don't have an expo pass and you need one, talk to Mike after this meetup, and some cool talks from the community at the Audio Kinetic.
Alex, Ethan, sound designer. I just wanted to, say that I went over to the booth yesterday, and it's great. It's just really if we have any level of whatever level of experience you have, the people there, I promise have a lot more. It's really friendly about, go over there, have a ton of different booths with my setup and different stuff like Shimano and stuff to show you. And I feel like I learned a lot. Got a cool T-shirt with cats on it. Maybe that was
Let one of those, please.
Yes, please upload the T-shirts.
Cool, thanks, Alex.
Just want to plug the audio programming roundtable. It already happened yesterday. It reminded me how valuable it is and how Guy Soundberg and Thomas Newman deserve all the praise possible for all the amazing work they're doing, putting the light on a field that is still relatively unknown and has few resources. So even if you're not an audio programmer, if you have any interest, come to these roundtables. They aren't recorded, so it's really there or never. And you'll get students starting out or the guys from PlayStation and Audio Kinetic talking about their stuff too. So really valuable. And any support you can give to Guy Soundberg and Thomas Newman for their amazing work, go for it. Like, just being there is already good.
Cool. That's today and tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
I don't remember what time, but
today is 5:30. Tomorrow is 11:30. So the timetables change. So you have to look it for every day. But yeah.
Cool. I'm going to shift the conversation for a second, and while I do that, you want to think about any last hot takes or inspirations you want to drop before we head out from this thing. But I'm going to put you two kind of on the spot here with a question about communities. You've been catalyzing on the ground, the torch was passed and it's in your hands. Any suggestions around things that you would recommend for people who are either running a community or they're thinking of starting one? Any tips for folks from the perspective of your leadership?
I would say one of the biggest things is a lot of people come thinking that they are not part of the game audio community. If they're a student or if they're, done a game jam or something, they think that they need more credentials to even be a part of the conversation. So really just inviting people and say, even if you have only played a video game and you like the music and you want to learn a little more, come and putting the barrier to entry as far to the bottom as you can possibly make it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would add, I think in terms of maybe running or organizing, having a clear sort of set of, I don't know, there's a code of conduct for the Game Audio LA community that I think Megan helped write, and just having that kind of baseline of inclusivity and making sure that everyone feels respected and has a voice, I think is a good thing to have as an organizer.
Yeah, I realized I never introduced myself. Megan, she, her, composer, implementer, game designer, many things. But yeah, I will say when we were writing the code of conduct, there's lots of just fair use, that's the word I'm looking for, just codes of conduct online that you can find, and that's basically what we did. We found one, and we're yeah, that sounds like what we want, and tweaked it a little bit. But yeah, I will say, I think having a code of conduct helps people, feel safer. I know, as a woman who's had a couple, creepy experiences at, game audio or general game meetups, it definitely makes me feel better going somewhere if there is a code of conduct, and I'm sure that's true of a lot of people. So that was really important to me and Renzo and Michelangelo to have that. So yeah.
Cool, thank you for that. And it sounds like there's lots of resources to kind of build and put together your own code of conduct. at that point, what do? You've got it, you've kind of made a decision across the leadership team or folks who are helping to contribute. What's the next step? How do you carry that to the community? How do you reinforce it? What's the practice there?
Does Scala still have a website?
There is a website. It just redirects to the Twitter.
Okay.
But actually, that code of conduct is like the pinned tweet, so it would be like the first thing you see. So I think just making sure people are aware of it. It's like pinned in the Discord, and also like keeping an eye out during events, and for any like we've gotten messages from people just like about like nothing happened at an event, but kind of like I know this person like might be in, like just keeping an eye out.
It's really good to be aware that there are some people out there that are maybe maybe shouldn't be around, and to be really, really conscious of that.
Yeah, and I know me, Renzo, and Michelangelo talked ahead of time, okay, what will we do if something happens at an event? Having a plan ahead of time was really good, and thankfully we never had to. Everyone was cool and everything, so that was great. But yeah, I think having a plan ahead of time, whether you're doing warnings or just kicking people out immediately, is kind of deciding that, so you don't have to decide on the fly. It's very good. Yeah.
Cool, thanks for surfacing that. It's a not exciting part of community leadership that doesn't often get, people don't even know that that's something that the leadership of communities are taking into consideration, are working really hard to create a safe space, to create a space of inclusivity. Right? This is, in my mind, community 101, and a lot of times, we present these things in the best way that we can, but I really value the thought that goes into and the process of trying to create these inclusive spaces. Yeah, thanks for surfacing that. Cool. Okay, you had a few minutes to think. Any last hot tips on Thursday? Yeah.
I just wanted to say, if anyone's going to the expo today and happens to find a pair of kneecaps lying around, probably mine. I think they fell off yesterday. I also saw Jason Graves tweeted something last night and said that he thinks game audio people are just the sweetest group.
Thank you for that. Thank you for my co-hosts. Thanks for the role you play in the community. Thanks to everyone here for showing up. We did it. It's Thursday. Have fun. See you later.